Today is April 20th, 2020. Well, that's kind of neat. 2020. Well, anyway, I'm wanting to do a Hobbit Garden review. I must confess that I haven't done much in the last week. I was moving a log, and I tweaked my back. I somehow got my back. Of course, whenever something like that happens, I always think on two levels. I think in the natural, and then I think in the spiritual. And if you've been watching this last week, there's been a tremendous amount of sorcery, witchcraft, spells of the mainstream media trying to put a huge fear on the nation. All around the world, this pandemic stuff has been blown way out of proportion. And now that there's a very inexpensive cure, this hydroxychloroquine, the studies are coming back where, almost everybody is surviving if they've taken it early enough. And when you know that in many places around the world, like in the UK, they actually prevented people from using hydroxychloroquine for a long time. So the death tolls didn't have to be as high as they were, it seems to me. But anyway, it is what it is. And that pandemic is on the downside, at least over here in the United States. And I have a great confidence, especially with the results that are coming in from these studies using hydroxychloroquine. Okay, you can get that. Hey, I'm going to put a link at the bottom of this video to a little thing on kind of like the mother of Donald Trump, about who she was, and the link anyway to the Hebrides. Just a little testimonial, about 5 minutes. I hope you click onto that. It's very, very positive and uplifting, and as Paul Harvey would say, the rest of the story. So here, let's get going in the greenhouse. And like I say, I've actually been having trouble getting up, standing up, and getting around. Some pain in my back every time I do that, and I've been taking it easy. So I've had the plants inside. Now they're kind of outside, except for the very, very tall tomato plants, which are really too big to be putting back in the greenhouse. They need to be planted. So explaining that, I guess I'm just letting you know why things are not further along. I feel a little bit under the gun because I haven't but actually it's just been like yesterday, where the low temperature the cold temperature ended. So we're just now past the last frost date. I'm not really that far off, but I'm not leaping about like I'd like to be, or at least I'm having trouble bending over, putting things into the ground is what I'm saying. So here we go. I'm in the greenhouse. Let me just show you how things are looking in here. I brought these out 2 days ago because the temperatures were just going to be maybe in the 40s, maybe the low 40s at most. But look, this cucumber, I've got this window open now, so it's not crazy hot in here right now. And it's been a cloudy day. In fact, we've had some rain in the garden. So you can see these guys are really wanting to be planted out. Look at that mint. Now this was the mint that I had inside, but it's looking real nice. Anyway, that's a chocolate mint. You can see I've been having trouble working. I haven't even worked in the greenhouse much, just a little bit watering things and stuff, but I just really haven't been up to much, standing around too long at times. But anyway, you can see these plants needed to be potted up and separated out. It may be too late for some of them, but I may just put them in the ground, who knows. But look, you can see some of the cucumbers coming on, and the squashes. They really, and look at these. See these peppers? I think those are peppers. Let's see. Oh no, it's these are yellow. Well, they are peppers, yellow bell peppers. So I've got some different peppers. Actually, I had some really nice peppers that I were, some bell peppers I was eating, and these are actually the seeds from those really beautiful peppers. So anyway, that's kind of, oh, and down here, look at that one. I would bend up. See, I can't even bend over very well here, so I don't even know if I'm going to plant anything out today. Some more peppers. I planted those up a couple of times. Oh, you can't see them, can you? But those are beautiful. These are ready to be, they got their true leaves. Once you get true leaves on them, you can pot them up. They may not all make it. In fact, you can see that a lot of them aren't going to make it. So I'm going to have a lot of yellow bell peppers to give away. I don't think but I didn't know what all was going to make it. See, and these are peppers and some, looks like basil up here. So that's how things are looking in the greenhouse. And inside, I've got a couple of photos I put at the beginning showing you the tomatoes. They're really ready to be planted out. Here, let's go around. I'm not walking too bad right now. So just walking, if I'm doing okay, that's great. So I'm walking fairly good today. The garlic, that is looking very nice. And I still have one, I need to show you these guys. See, this has been my experience. I'm calling it an experiment since it's been a disaster. Look. These tomatoes they can't take below 32 degrees very much. And we had a whole week of it at night. And even though I had them covered and stuff, you can see they all should be replaced. Actually, some of them would actually possibly come back, but it would take a few weeks. Some of them might recover, but I'm probably just going to I have enough tomatoes just to replace them. But these, you can see, total disaster for me. Anyway, I got ahead of myself a bit. But look at that. Those guys look nice. Those peas. Now I planted some pole beans. I don't know if the cold weather killed them off. Oh, no, there's one coming up. So we'll see. We'll see if the warm weather takes them up. Now these guys went back and forth. I think these are Brussels sprouts and some cabbage. I may have lost one cabbage right there, but the deal is making it. Now I did try to cover this a little bit. You might see those are rutabagas. So I've got a couple little rutabagas planted out. Now those actually will become quite a big plant once they take off. And you can see the little onions over there. Those are really nice onions that I planted up. And look at this. This is amazing. During the cold weather, I kept covering my potatoes because I didn't want their leaves to get scorched by the cold. They'll get a little bit of frostbite and die back. So every day I kept adding more wood chips to them. Seriously, I just covered it, and then the next day they'd be poking through again. So I had to cover them again. So now I've got a little mound there. I should get a huge potato harvest here, Lord willing. And the kale, of course, kale loves the cold weather. I really need to do some stir fry with this, but that's beautiful. That's a beautiful green, isn't it? Can you see that? And I don't know about these potatoes. They're not popping through. But there's some peas in there. And there's some more garlic here. And you can see the mustard. Now that's actually a pretty nice mustard plant coming on. It's a volunteer. And you can see the mustard in between my onions and garlic in here. So that's not too bad. And you can see these potatoes. I kept filling these buckets up, and you can see how the potatoes are popping through again. So here, let's walk around. And the onions, these guys had been left out the whole time. But these containers I actually had in my greenhouse until, during the cold days, cold nights anyway. Cilantro coming on, and that's a lettuce, and of course some onions. And these onions I need to use as green onions, cut them off and just anytime I want to use them in stir fry. So that's what's looking there. You can see how the grass is so tall. Like I say, I haven't I'm behind the 8-ball here with the grass and stuff. But look, now these potatoes again, I actually had some of them covered with a container, and you can see the corn. It's not too tall, but it's not dead. And I covered this with one of my containers, a big black thing. Is actually for horses to drink out of, a big tub. But look, so all these potatoes are coming on, and they all seem to have loved the cold weather, and they love the the wood chips that I covered them with. And I have a deal plan that looks like this. Oh man, nasturtium. That's a nasturtium plant that's all, I don't think it's coming back. And I had 4 butternut squash right here. They're all gone. But I have a lot of little ones. I mean, I have some others I can bring out. So, and you can see the onions and peas. Now, I've tried to plant peas all along the fence, but it looks like some of my seed was too old. So it looks like I only have about a 6-foot section of peas here that actually made it, and maybe 1 pea down at the end. But these little onions seem to be doing pretty good for me. And look how tall that grass is. And these onions have made it, and everything else out here that I tried to plant, the cucumbers and stuff, none of them made it. It just turned cold on me. The long-term forecast there at one point showed there would be no more cold weather, and then all of a sudden it turned, and we ended up having a very, past the 15th to the 17th and 18th for last frost date. So this is, actually the ground can still be warming up some for plants. Now, looky here, this borage. This has been out covered the whole time, and you can see the flowers. I covered them. They're making it, looks like. But this borage plant, the flowers and stuff, it doesn't look like much, I guess, but I'm just happy to see it. Did I mention that big mustard plant? Look, it's going to seed there. It's going to flowers. So, and I haven't eaten much of it. I should take some of those leaves and use them. They actually are very nice to eat. They have a little hot flavor to them. Well, this is what the back bits of some of my plants look like. Looks like a lot of them aren't going to make it. I knocked this one over earlier today. Pushed it right off the table. That was kind of dense of me. And then it rained on everything. But anyway, there's plenty there. There's plenty of plants to make it. We'll see what happens. I don't really have anything to report. I think this area here will be the first thing that gets planted in my backyard. But like I say, I haven't been doing much in terms of yard or garden work this week, which is a shame. And anyway, hey, if you guys believe in prayer, you can pray for me. Say, oh, Lord bless them, Lord help them, do something with them. Well, I hope you've enjoyed today's update. Obviously, I got a lot of things I need to get done. I seem to be, well, anyway, I'm putting them off a bit, I guess. It did rain. It has, in fact, it did rain just a little bit a while ago, a couple hours ago. But the truth is I'm just not really up to doing a lot in the yard like I'd like to. So anyway, but I'm doing better. I'm doing better than I did a few days ago, but I'm not doing best. So if you want to ask the Lord to heal me, that'd be great. I'm asking Him to heal me, and I know He will. I know I'll get 100% here soon. And I hope you've enjoyed everything. Love you guys. Bye bye now.